What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. I'm going to talk about some key levels to watch for as time goes on, what's happening with the overall setups. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice whatsoever. Anyways, as far as the market's going, I just want to mention that Tesla is technically on a downtrend looking at the current setup. We've been making lower highs and lower lows. And overall, we're going to see if Tesla could try to form a base near $400. All right. So I just wanted to say one more thing, actually. Today, just know that the internal servers are having a lot of errors right now. There's a big outage. So it's affecting a lot of websites. So I couldn't go over every single website, at least that we typically go over because of the outage. It's also affecting my recording software. So I think that this video might not be in the highest of qualities. And I do apologize for that. We're just waiting to see once these server issues are fixed, once the outages that are coming out and they are once again resolved, then things will go back to normal. But for now, we have to kind of like deal with these issues and get through this. So, anyways, as far as Tesla goes, we're watching some key levels. There is some news that came out from Stifel. They have a $508 price target, and they're very optimistic about with what's happening involving the Optimus robots and the Robotaxi. They also mentioned that there is a lot of progress being made for their FSD software, which makes them very optimistic. So for now, we have analysts talking about a $508 price target for Tesla. On top of this, there's been more cars involved in Tesla's supercharger access. We have a list of them from Acura to Ford and many others, and there may be even more launches according to reports. But there was some negative news that came out about how the Tesla robotaxis have had about 7 crashes since July. Considering that there have been like thousands and thousands of rides, that's not, that bad. And I also want to add that you need to have all the context for them before jumping into conclusions. However, I do admit that Tesla's robotaxi is not perfect. There's obviously going to be a lot of issues that arise here and there. Sometimes there are driver errors, but the majority of the time, I also want to say that they are safe and they do work very, very well. And I think that it's going to be just, a very, very big uphill battle. But simultaneously, there's going to be a lot of improvement from this point on, and Tesla will continue to improve. So I think that robotaxis are safe for the most part. They're very, very awesome, and they're going to continue to improve. And just give it a couple of months, if not years, to see these improvements just slowly pan out. And eventually, they're going to become the new norm. But of course, we're not fully there yet. There are going to be some issues here and there. And when you have headlines just screaming that they crash, they don't really give you the statistics about how many rides there were, how often they happen or anything like that. The media just loves to scream that they're unsafe, they crash all the time, and this and that. Anyways, for other figures out there, we got initial jobless claims that came out for certain weeks in October. Also know that initial jobless claims were basically aligned with expectations, at least so far. The ADP employment change was also technically down compared to before. And besides that, there's not really much else coming out. We have some minor factory and housing data, and Barr from the Fed gives a speech at 10:30 a.m., and that's pretty much it. There's not really anything else too significant coming out for today. There's a 48.6% chance we get a cut from the Fed, at least thus far. And in terms of our news, it looks like a lot of investors are remaining risk off ahead of Nvidia's earnings. So we're going to see if Nvidia helps the market or not. Besides that, the Home Depot missed its earnings. And then we're also looking to see what happens as time goes on, as we have important figures and the Federal Reserve governors who were giving lots of speeches talking about the weakening labor market and how they're going to be shifting their policy changes. Besides that, the Home Depot, once again, has announced their earnings. And then for tomorrow, we have Target, Wix, TJ Maxx, and Lowe's. But then after market close, we have Nvidia. So be ready for that. With that being said, what's going to happen to Tesla? Well, we're looking for this test near 400. If we lose 400, we could be dipping to 390. So I think 400 is going to be a vital support for Tesla. But if we hold, and we actually touched 402, so we came very close so far towards that 400 mark. If we lose, or if we hold 400, we're looking for a rebound attempt back up to 415 to 420. And then we're going to see if we reject or not. But there is a chance we try to bounce if we could hold some key support. So look for Tesla to kind of like dip a little bit, and then we're going to see if we can hold 400 to 402. If we don't, we could be dumping a lot more, but if we hold this, we could dip and then bounce back up to 415 for a temporary move up. So there's a good chance we see something like that, at least for Tesla, if we hold some key supports. So watch your levels very, very closely as time goes on. On SPY, I also want to call out that SPY is at critical supports. We just tested 660. If 660 fails us, we could be dipping to 658 or below, and there could be a big dump. But as long as 660 holds, if we hold 660, I think we could bounce back up to 665 to 668, but we need to see 660 hold for confirmation. Same thing with the QQQ. We need to see if 598 holds. If we lose that, we could be dumping. But if we hold this, we could attempt to retest 603, then back up to 605. But I need to see 598 hold for confirmation. If it doesn't hold, 595 or so are very possible. So if the overall market holds support and we start bouncing, I want to see Tesla basically hold near 402 to 400. And if we hold, we're looking for a bounce back up to 415. If we end up losing this support right here in the low 400s, we could be tipping back down to 395. So hopefully Tesla holds near 400. We bounce back up to 415. I'll be watching this very, very closely. Nvidia is on a downtrend. Investors look like they're remaining risk off ahead of earnings. So I would not be surprised if Nvidia dips to like 182. ES, I think that we're near our bottom. We could be forming a bottom soon. Either this is where the bottom is going to be at 66.40, or the bottom is going to be like around here, around 65.80-ish. But it's not that far, right? This is like our range. So we're going to see if this level is retested. Either we bounce here, and then I think that we could be looking for a nice rebound, or we dump a little bit more, and then we get some kind of like rebound near 6,600 flat. But either way, I think that we're getting closer, and we could dip a little bit more. We could retest like 66.30, and hopefully we try to bounce from here. If we hold today's low, we could try to bounce. But if we lose this, we could end up retesting October's lows, and that's where we should be forming some sort of bottom. On NQ, the same thing is going on. We're looking for support at 24,600 and then also support at 24,400. And we'll be watching to see if we form a bottom either right here or if we dip a little bit lower to form a bottom. Then we could be looking for a breakout. So watch this very closely and we'll see how it goes. On Bitcoin, we could be dipping back down to 90,000 and we'll see if we bounce. If we hold 90,000, we could rebound for 93,000 for a temporary move up. So once again for Tesla, I want to see 400 hold. If it does, we're looking for a bounce for 415. So watch 400 as our key support. If it doesn't hold, we could retest 395 and 390. For AMD, we're dipping. We could be looking for 235, and we'll see if we bounce. On Palantir, we could be dipping back down towards 164. Coinbase, we have a divergence here. We could be retesting 258 to 255, and we'll see if we bounce. Amazon could be dipping back down towards 225, and we'll see if we bounce. There is still some downside risk. Meta has 590 support and 585, so be careful. It might dip a little bit more. But Google's looking like it wants to bounce for 294, and Microsoft looks like it could be retesting 495 before we attempt some kind of rebound. And the VIX is pushing for now, but keep in mind the inverse head and shoulders is helping the VIX push. We're going to see if we form a top soon on the VIX. The top could be coming very, very soon, and this could be a very, very big opportunity for the equities markets. So there is an internet outage, so I wish you all the best through it, and we're going to see how well the market holds up at these key supports. If we lose support, we could dip one more time. But I do believe that we're getting closer to a bottom looking at the current levels. So we'll see how well the market holds up. For Tesla, make sure you watch 400 to see if we can bounce off that to get back up to 415. If 400 fails us, we could be retesting like 398, 395, and 390. So we'll see how well we hold up. As of right now, Tesla looks like it wants to bounce. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you for listening, guys, and peace out.